All right, so she'll move on to the Bacigalupi. You know, it's up there with Rocchioli in terms of, you know, Grand Cru status in Sonoma County for Chardonnay, for sure. What do you
Yes.
think?
No question. No question. Yeah, I would like to see them actually get elevated a little bit more. You know, I mean, it's we've got the Richies of the world and the Durrells of the world. I think the Bacigalupi should be in the same conversation. I think that they may not be, only because their vineyards do sit in a little bit of a warmer pocket in Russian River versus Ritchie and kind of Durrell. But as long as, you know, again, winemakers involved and watching it, you don't have to let it get, you know, so ripe. This sits just a little bit south of their estate on West Side Road, or this vineyard, the Frost Ranch. Frost Ranch was developed with cuttings from the home ranch. So it's all Winty clone. But yeah, the site just lends itself to a kind of a bigger, richer style, right? So I do treat it a little bit differently. Like I was saying with the Pratt whole cluster press, but rather than putting it in the tank, I go straight to barrel. And Carrie really likes the term that's called. That's called going dirty. When you whole cluster press and you go straight to barrel, you're going dirty because you're taking all that good stuff.
I just find it funny. It's not like my favorite term.
Well, I know, but you laugh every time. I love it.
Because it's funny.
So that way we're taking all the solids, all that good, you know, everything that's in the juice, go in the barrel, and typically native fermentation, like Pratt as well. I do like to go native if I can. A lot more.
She's cracking up at that too. I mean, is she in 8th grade? I mean, what's going on here?
I am seriously in 8th grade.
So a lot more batonnage.
Stirring of the lees.
I do use a little bit more, a little higher percentage of new French oak. I'd still like to use elegant barrels, you know, a little bit more finessed barrels. They're not heavily oaked, but a little higher percentage of new. And then it gets aged for 16 months. Okay. Surly, a lot more with a lot more lees than the Pratt, right? So again,
you don't rack them before at all, or
no racking at all. Yep. So on the lees, 2 months.
It's always dangerous to go down the Burgundy road in comparisons, but since we started with the first one is kind of Chablis, like this one to me is kind of full blown Meursault. I mean, you know, I've spent a bit of time in Chassagne and Pouligny, and while those are a little bit leaner styles, this is, I mean, full blown. I think I wouldn't call it buttery, but it's rich. I mean, it's rich. It's full. But there's still that acidity that keeps it in line, so to speak. And I think, you know, how long has this been part of the portfolio then? The Bacigalupi? 15 was the first
one. And that was ginormous. That was a very, very big, unctuous Chardonnay. It was our last drought year.
Oh, okay. So it was still, it was throwing off some good concentrated fruit, but probably not much of it, I would imagine.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so Jeff, actually, you bring up a really good point that I just want to make, because this is what's changed in California Chardonnay winemaking, that you can still make a bigger, richer, more voluptuous Chardonnay with acid.
Right.
Right. It doesn't have to be, you know, singular, you know, big, rich, syrupy, flat, you know. It can still be all that and still have some acid to, you know, get those salivary glands going and
yeah,
keep you drinking it.
You know, to coin a term, so to speak, I mean, the finish is amazing, and it continues to dance on the tongue. See what I did there? For quite some time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to use that. That was just too cheesy.